$1.99 French fries, 54 chickens, 38 salads, and 255 beef sandwiches due up in 8 minutes. So yes, it fuck.
Chaos. That's the way I would describe the majority of The Bear's first season. Overlapping dialogue, close-up handheld shots, intense music, The Bear embodies pressure, anxiety, and the feeling of urgency. This is all contextualized by the idea that each of the main characters, Carmen, Sydney, Richie, Marcus, are all on their own journeys for purpose. While Season 1 focuses on characters like Carmen and Sydney, Season 2 brings some of the less explored characters, specifically Marcus and Richie, to the forefront of the show. These episodes mark a distinct tonal shift, moving away from the show's usually frantic pace into a slower, more introspective exploration of their purpose, reshaping my understanding of the message of the show. Thus, this video essay explores the following idea. The Bear is most frequently characterized by chaos in two forms. First, the pressure of time, and second, each character's struggle in their unique pursuit for purpose. However, Season 2 features a number of departure episodes from this sense of urgency. I explore the motif Every Second Counts in Season 2 of The Bear by tracing the recurring message through these episodes. I argue that The Bear employs stylistic and dialogue elements in Marcus and Richie's journeys to evolve the motif of Every Second Counts, showing that purpose expands beyond the pursuit of excellence into deliberate and full living. Part 1. Time Pressure. The setting of the second season focuses on Carmen and his team renovating and rebuilding the Beef into a fine dining restaurant. From the very first episode, where they try to seek an additional investment from Jimmy, the stakes are immediately set out.
We don't pay you back by the end of 18 months, and it is yours.
What's mine?
All of it. The building and the lot.
Immediately, there is time pressure, and from the moment that Jimmy agrees, a timer starts.
Great partners ask great questions.
In this scene, the high-tempo music immediately builds anxiety. Moreover, this shot-reverse shot between Carmen and Jimmy immediately closes space between the characters, leaving little room for breathing and sandwiching me, the viewer, right between them in their conversation. The episode culminates in a montage, scattering the message that there is not enough time everywhere. Landing us on this exact message, every second counts. The intensity of the montage pushes the idea that there is a deadline and it's binary between succeeding and failing, carrying the intense pace of the show. That is, until we enter Part 2, Honeydew. Season 2, Episode 4, Honeydew, is the first departure episode following Marcus's journey to Copenhagen, where he learns from Luca, Carmen's close friend. Notably, the episode shows a different pace from The Bear.
Chef, I'm Marcus Brooks. I'm from...
I know, I'm Luca. A Street, start at 5 a.m.
There are two notable aspects of this scene. First, by using a still camera with a wider frame shot, I feel as the viewer that there is more space for my eyes to wander and space to breathe. Second, the viewer is introduced to the same sign, every second counts, plastered above the entrance, extending the message from the first time we see it in Episode 1 of Season 2. Marcus's journey for purpose centers around where to find inspiration for being a great pastry chef, which brings me to the following conversation.
No, I think at a certain stage it becomes less about skill and it's more about being open.
Open?
Yeah, to the world, to yourself, to other people. You know, most of the incredible things I've eaten haven't been because the skill level is exceptionally high or there's loads of mad, fancy techniques. It's because it's been really inspired. You know?
I like that.
You can spend all the time in the world in here, but if you don't spend enough time out there...
Right.
Again, The Bear uses a wide still shot in this scene, showing two characters standing side by side. This provides a stark contrast to the kitchen of Carmi, which is fluorescent with quick cuts. The conversation also contains no background music or overlapping dialogue, solely showing the measured, deliberate movement between Marcus and Luca. From the narrative perspective, Luca tells Marcus that inspiration comes equally as much as experimenting inside of the kitchen as it does fully experiencing things in a new world, taking advantage of every living moment we have as humans. Throughout the episode, I, as the viewer, am taking in Copenhagen with Marcus, understanding its food, culture, and aesthetic. It develops a sense of what every second counts means for Luca. He emphasizes what's important is to live deliberately in every moment, which helps transform Marcus's experience as he focuses on taking advantage of all the new sensations of taste, sight, and feel that he can experience. Thus, by using this departure episode to move away from the bear's typical high-paced nature, the show is able to successfully build on the motif that every second counts, showing it means taking advantage of the moment to live a deliberate life and specifically how this transforms Marcus's abilities to gain inspiration as a pastry chef.
Wow.
Wait 1 second. This one is a little bit of all of us.
Part 3, Forks. Season 2, Episode 7, Forks, combines the two ideas following the motif of Every Second Counts, urgency and deliberate living. The episode focuses on the personal growth of Richie, who previously didn't buy into the idea of fine dining restaurants, making him feel like he's entering a foreign world. The same mantra, every second counts, lies in the edge of the room. At this moment, however, Richie's perception of it is a measurement of pressure and perfection to push oneself, the anxious urgency he's associated with Carmen's kitchen, and it bleeds into the negative way he approaches his job and feels like he's wasting his time here. Until the 3 Michelin star restaurant that Richie's staging at shows him what this mantra means to them.
I need you to stand in that corner and get the fuck out of my way for 1 minute. 5, distillation, eyes on 4. 24, walking in 5. 2, tasting moves on deck, get them out fast, please, thank you. 12, walking out. Let's pick it up, every second counts.
The setup and camera work of the restaurant Richie's interning at, Ever, is actually quite similar to that of the Bear. Strong bright lighting and white tabletops. But there's a much stronger rhythm to the Ever kitchen compared to the chaos depicted in the Bear. The Ever kitchen provides elegant control over the pacing of their restaurant. For them, every second counts means giving their guests every ounce of their attention and care, researching each guest, doing special events. And this mesmerizes Richie, teaching him what great hospitality looks like and developing his sense of purpose as you can see his growing excitement for what they're doing.
Micro basil?
Yes, chef.
Micro basil, fuck yes.
Language.
This culminates into his conversation with Chef Terry, the lead of Ever, over the action of peeling mushrooms. And before the conversation even starts, I immediately noticed the parallel between this scene and the conversation between Luca and Marcus in episode 4. A still shot framing the scene with slowly paced dialogue placing Richie and Terry side by side. I think the show deliberately uses this parallel framing to show it's combining their ideas of purpose, which we see from the conversation between Richie and Terry.
So why do you do this?
I do it for a living.
No, but like, don't you have stages that do this shit?
Yeah, well, I like starting the day with this.
Why?
Respect. Feels attached. I think time spent doing this is time well spent.
Time well spent? That's what it's all about?
Yeah, I think so.
The Bear uses this moment of dialogue to complete the motif of every second counts. Through the conversation, Chef Terry teaches Richie that the pursuit of purpose is not some grand vision about becoming the best, but finding the individual meaningful moments for oneself. This unites the ideas of urgency and deliberate living in the mantra, every second counts. Urgency matters for Chef Terry's restaurant because efficiency is required to serve her guests in the best way possible. They are dedicated to the level of care that they need to know the number of seconds someone has to wait for their meal. Chef Terry is also able to develop Richie's idea of deliberate living by thinking about what he interprets as time well spent. As he starts to understand the care and difference he can make in other people's lives through hospitality, he understands his purpose in the Bear. The episode ends with this scene as Richie makes eye contact with this exact message, except this time he's transformed to learn that every second counts means maximizing his own life by providing service to others. Richie is good with people, and he's realized other people deserve every second of his attention and full effort, developing his new role in the Bear. Ultimately, Season 2 of The Bear maintains what made the first season great: the endless pursuit of ambition, of greatness, into capturing value of every moment in one's life. By following Marcus to Copenhagen and Richie to Ever, The Bear transforms every second counts from a declaration of urgency, a deadline, into the idea that each second deserves one's full attention, effort, and care, both in finding purpose in their own lives and providing service to others. Through the use of camera work and dialogue through these episodes, The Bear ultimately shows what it truly means to live a full life.